Welcome to NBA 2K TV. We have a packed episode for you this week with tips on getting better at the game, as always. And we also have a special guest with insight on handling.
Now, as you're watching, we've included an Easter egg with 2K TV Interactive. So pay attention to the question because one is worth a big VC reward.
Which question? Well, we won't tell, but a hint, it's hiding in plain sight or right in front of your eyes.
If you're in the city and looking to accelerate your My Players progression, Chris Brickley's gym is a great place to be.
There's 3-on-3 competition during the weekdays and 5-on-5 action throughout the weekends. These games are important because they accelerate badge progression depending on the difficulty.
Playing on easy will earn double the badge progression, while medium will triple it. And if you are ready for the challenge, play on hard because you'll earn 4 times the badge progression.
You can find Chris Brickley's gym right here across from these palm trees in the city. Get over there and make the most of your build.
To be the most realistic basketball game, 2K brings in the best players around the world to mocap their moves.
Josh Okoye had an amazing international career, played in the NBA, and he is one of the best ball handlers we've seen come through mocap.
No doubt. And he's also a big 2K player. So we invited him on to get some insight on how to approach the game both on and off the court and in NBA 2K. Take a look.
Josh Okoye, welcome to NBA 2K TV. So excited to have you on today. Now, you've had a long career playing overseas in the NBA. So in 2K14, your dribbling moves first showed up in the game, which is spectacular. What was it like to have 2K ask you to have your dribbling moves in the game?
First off, it was a blessing because I've played 2K for a big part of my childhood growing up. When they asked me, I was like over the moon to do it. It took some getting used to with the tight suit. But once I got in there, I loved it. So that was really cool.
What did you think about seeing your moves in the game?
It was crazy. It was crazy. My son was the first one to kind of really show me this and that. And then I would kind of look back and be like, I think that's my move. Being able to see my son doing it and being able to show his friends, that was awesome.
Now, the mocap team told us you were one of the, quote, best displays that we've ever brought in. What's your approach or advice you give to 2K players about reading the floor and making the right reads?
The first thing I'm doing when I'm dribbling up is I'm trying to look to where the gaps are. So if I see there's really nobody on the left block, I'm really trying to do all my moves to manipulate my guy to think I'm going to the right block, just to try to get to that left block. For the gaps in the defense, if you're running different plays and you get kind of movement from a lot of the different other guys on the court, you can kind of see the different gaps kind of materialize, and then you have to be creative to get your moves off to be able to get to that spot.
When you see a defender coming up, I always love that one-on-one action, you know? If I'm getting a little heated in a game, I'm going to call for an ISO and try to break my defender down. So what advice can you give about defenders and where they're at positionally and how to attack them, both in real life and in 2K?
Biggest thing for me is trying to go and score. If a guy is playing up on me and he's pressing me, then that for me is perfect. I'm trying to go around him. I'm trying to get to the basket, and that's when big men step up and you can kind of drop it off to your other bigs. If a guy on the wing is kind of coming over to help his teammate, that's when you kind of kick it out. So for me, when I'm seeing somebody come up and press me, I'm trying to look for that gap, and I'm just trying to get my teammates open shots.
You've been a part of the game for so long now, over 10 years. So can you describe what it's like seeing your moves progress in the gameplay as it gets better?
It's crazy. It's crazy. When I was doing mocap, they would just tell me freestyle, do a lot of different moves that come off the top of my head. So I would just kind of be out there just kind of doing different moves. Then they would say, all right, we'll do some moves that you do in the game. And these are the moves I've been doing for 20 years. Being able to see those moves in the game that I've made a career and a living off of was just really cool.
As a point guard, what advice can you give to both basketball players and 2K players about playing off the ball?
You do not want the defense to feel like you're predictable, where you make a cut and you go to the corner and you just stand there. You always want to have your defender on his toes. on her toes. So you want to always make sure that you're moving, cutting without the ball, obviously not cutting into a lane that one of your teammates is trying to cut into. So being aware of where you are on the floor in real life and in 2K. If you can get that down, I mean, you'll excel.
Is there a favorite dribble combo move that you have?
Basically, I call it a sway dribble. And basically, you're just floating, and you're kind of doing a float dribble to the side, either side, and you're looking at how the defense is playing you. Is the defender moving? Is he standing flat-footed? Is he trying to back off you? Is he coming to press you? So I love to do the sway move to kind of gauge to see where he is, check his temperature, so to speak. And then once I get to that point, I love to actually hit him with a quick combo move, double rocker, I call it, a quick crossover, really fast.
So you recently wrote a book about your journey in pro basketball. The advice that you give to young players that pertains to your journey and how it can help them?
Yeah, awesome. So the book is called My Misses Made Me. All the different mistakes I felt I made from when I picked up a ball when I was 14 to when I retired. Because a lot of people didn't know, I actually hated basketball until I was 14. I probably played a total of 15, 20 minutes until I was in high school. For me, that book actually goes through a whole range of emotions I had, from being on the end of the bench to my recruitment process to picking an agent to the things I wish I would have did different in high school. Also, it just really outlines that kids need to look to their future and where they think they'll end up.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, for joining us. Congratulations on everything, and we look forward to seeing all your ball handling skills in NBA 2K, as we've seen for the past 10, 11 years.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, and I know you guys will keep doing great things. I really appreciate it.
It's showtime for the 2K community. Let's take a look at your 2K TV top plays of the week. Let's sail to the elite affiliation with Lynx. Elevates for the snatch block, and he's running. Can somebody stop the ball? Anybody? Oh, come on. Slammed. They go coast to coast. Sir CC gets on their horse and gallops for the throwdown. They're up against the fake Mike Lowry in the theater. Steals the pass, makes some space behind the back, and meter dunks a 360. Forget the hot zone when the road to the rim is wide open. If that's the fake Mike Lowry, just imagine what the real one could do. Which two-way play gets your vote? Choose now. And hey, if you got a great assist, send them in on social with your gamer tag and the hashtag 2KTVWow. I'll see you next week. I'm mowing my lawn in the shape of
Well, the weekend obviously is in full swing, and so is the NBA. Hey, thanks for joining us on 2K Sports. Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan, and joining us tonight, Greg Anthony and Hall of Famer Doris Burke. And reporting from the sidelines, our very own David Aldridge. And checking out Minnesota's opening lineup, we've got Johnson. Sharp out there with John Morant. Then there's Desmond Bane. And it's Bassey in at the 5. And for the Rockets, McDaniels is out there with Bol. Then there's LaMelo Ball. Then it's Tyler Hero. And it's Ware in at the center, filling out the middle. Now here we are, Greg, in the second half of the season. What do you think playoff-bound teams are focusing on right now?
I would say just making sure they keep the momentum heading into the postseason, as well as do everything possible to try to stay healthy.
Now here's Morant. Here's Johnson. Here's Bassey. McDaniels defending. Johnson. It's rebounded by Houston. McDaniels finds Hero. And here is Ball. There's the pass to McDaniels. No good from outside. Here's Minnesota. And then Sharp with the dunk.
Ooh, he put a little extra on that one.
He does. He doesn't usually finish soft either. Obviously, he can when necessary. Not that time. Now, here's Ball. He's as deadly a weapon as you're going to find in the league, an average of almost 35 points a game. Wow. Here's Ball. And it's Morant with the rebound.
Boy, 9 times out of 10, that's going in. I'm sure he surprised himself with the miss.
I love how assertive Bane is in transition. Outstanding at running to the right spot in those situations.
Craig, with how explosive John Morant is, he has certainly taken his fair share of awkward falls.
And that's what worries you with guys like that. He's already had a number of injuries in his young career, but we all just want to see him at full health.
Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Goes up. And then Sharp with the dunk.
Terrific play on Bane's part. Sparking the fast break with a heads-up play on defense.
Nice job capturing the moment on the AT&T 5G Slam Cam. Now here's Ball. Hero finds Ball. The 3. A three-pointer is right on target. Ball's got 5 now.
Boy, early in his career, LaMelo Ball has let you know I am dangerous from deep. The 3 ball is good.
Poked away. Passes to Johnson. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
And you know what? You allow a guy to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
The Timberwolves shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line.
And looking at the numbers this season, they're shooting a robust 82% from the line. That's about as good as it gets.
And Johnson drops them both. First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Hero against Sharp. Hero kicks to Ware. Buries it down low.
Oh, nice ball movement. Hero's an underrated passer. Makes great decisions.
Knocked loose. Stolen by Ball. Nice concentration to hit the double clutch layup. Ball's got his 3rd bucket of the night. The Timberwolves trail. And here's Sharp. Some stats for him. He averages over 21 points a game. Bane, no good.
Didn't hesitate for a second to get a hand up on that deep ball.
Well, tremendous effort, tremendous timing, the ability to alter shots on the perimeter. That was beautiful.
Now here's McDaniels. In the game against Sacramento, very impressive. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Bole. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. That one's on Morant.
And the size Ball has poses problems for any defense, especially when he's trying his best to be aggressive scoring.
So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe. And so Morant will bring it up for the Timberwolves. Trailing by 2. First quarter play and just over 3.5 minutes in. And that's a foul called on Bol. That's his first foul. Jackson Hayes, he's checked in for Bol.
Substitution.
As to Hachimura. Rockets with the rebound.
It's all about the defense right there. Without that level of activity, he probably scores it.
Bane with the steal. And here we go. Morant heading to the hoop. And then Morant slams it in.
And leave it up to Morant to put on a show. What a spectacular dunk.
Ball, the pass to Ware. Houston moving it around. Down low. And now the fast break. Hachimura with the ball. And wrestling for it there, but no one has possession. We'll have a jump ball.
Jump ball.
And here are the Rockets now. Rockets have gotten 4 of 6 field goal attempts to drop in the first quarter. Hero kicks to Ware. Kicks it out to Hero. Sinks the three-pointer.
And a legitimate threat to connect for me. Hero doesn't lack confidence trying his luck from there.
And let's head over to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, I caught up with Coach Ime Udoka. Of course, John Morant's name first and foremost, so I asked him about the strategy. He said try to plug every defensive hole we see. I know if we give Morant any space, he'll try and slice right through us, so we can't have any cracks in the armor. A tall order for the defense against the unstoppable Morant. Back to you.
Thank you, David.
And he's not going to miss that sort of an opportunity from deep.
Ellis kicks to G. Pass to Hayes. Misses from close range. Minnesota comes into this one following a loss to the Brooklyn Nets. Here's Morant. That's basket number 2 with his third shot off to a fast 2 for 3.
And no problem for Morant that close to the hoop. Once he gets inside, he makes it look easy.
Ellis against Morant. Ellis the pass to Hayes. And Hayes throws it down.
Oh, let's go home. That was just ridiculous.
I do not remember the last time I saw a dunk like that in a game. Now here's Morant for 3. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
How about the handles from the young fella? Give Morant credit for taking the initiative and capitalizing.
The pass to G. Shoots the 3. Tries again. Back to Ellis. Just 5 to shoot. Here's G. They had a number of cracks at it, but came away empty-handed. Pass to Hachimura. They've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And the dunk by Stewart.
Well, there are times where the court vision gets questioned, but Rui Hachimura, the delivery, sets up his teammate. Really well done.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. Houston making some changes. Sims is checked in, and Miller's subbed in for Hayes. And Stewart, no good on that one. Rockets trail by 5. G passes to Goodwin. Can't cash in from close range. Minnesota with the ball. Big stretch here going 10-2. Gets to the corner and buries it.
Nice play, and you can see they're gathering momentum.
You want to continue to build on this lead. Right now, still a little too close for comfort. Had to alter his release at the last possible moment, and somehow still gets it to go.
Oh, we've seen some great shots in the first quarter. No shortage of offense. Timberwolves lead by 5. And we've got more action coming your way after this break. And if you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter in this one. And let's quickly break down the game we're watching with the Timberwolves, guys.
Yeah, in that first period, they looked to push in transition at every opportunity.
And why wouldn't they? You see their effectiveness in the open floor. Very difficult to slow down.
Rockets trail by 5. Miller is out there with Stojakovic. Then it's G, then it's Goodwin, and it's Sims in its center. That's the group starting the second quarter for the Rockets. Outside Stojakovic, Johnson with the rebound. And for the Timberwolves, they're shooting indicative of smooth offensive play. Up at 60%, they're a machine from the floor. Here's G, who's guarded by Johnson. That one good for 2. G's got the first basket of the second quarter for Houston.
And they've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball in the paint.
Morant outside. Takes the 3. The Rockets pull it in. And following this game, they'll challenge the Grizzlies on the road to the FedEx Forum in Memphis. That will be a getaway game for them, a one-game road trip. Minnesota leading by 3. Bane drawing the double team. Puts it up. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession. Houston with a big group substitution here. Ware's checked in. McDaniels comes in for Stojakovic. Ellis is checked in for G. And Ball subbed in for Goodwin.
First personal foul. First team foul.
Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. Pass to Bassi. And Greg, you talk about toughness, a compete factor. How does a team create that culture?
Call it critical mass. When you have the entire organization and enough players committed to that kind of effort, everyone has to meet that level.
So this is how you finish in transition. LaMelo Ball being rewarded for the hustle.
So the Timberwolves call their first timeout.
Adjustments are a part of the game, and the coach sees something he doesn't like here.
Well, this is a chess match. Looking ahead a few moves and trying to execute toward that.
And the Rockets making a change here. Bowles checked in. A minute and a half gone here in the second quarter. Pass to Sharp. Now here's Morant. He has 7. And Ball sends it back.
And that massive wingspan coming into play there. Ball uses it to perfection to block shots.
Five to shoot. Now here's Morant for 3.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring. Ball
surveying the defense. And it's Jalen Johnson with the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
First personal foul. First team foul.
And so it's Houston with it. They haven't allowed any points in the second quarter. Ball finds Ellis. 6 on the shot clock to the inside. Ware. And trying for the go-ahead basket. It doesn't go in. And here's Morant. He'll bring it up for the Minnesota Timberwolves. No points yet here in the second quarter for them. And his offensive struggles continue.
Boy, a tough go for him in this quarter. You can see how desperately he wants to get things started. He just can't make a shot.
Minnesota in the lead. Back to Sharp. Good. And the nice assist from Morant. And it's 6 points for Shaedon Sharp.
This guy reads situations so well, and he knows how to execute.
Time now to turn to our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David.
Kevin, thanks. Ja Morant was the first NBA guard in a quarter century to lead the league in points in the paint. He says, I can't just rely on dunking every single play, so I need different types of finishes to get my shot off, whether it's high off the glass, the reverse, or hanging in the air forever. And Kevin, he just says it so casually. Back to you.
I know it. But look, David, he doesn't do it casually, right? He is a one-man service.
And the touch ball is impressive. And you can tell he has a lot of confidence in that shot.
Morant kicks to Bane. Shoots over McDaniels. And rejection by McDaniels. Here's Morant. And they're moving it up. And the dunk by Ball.
That's just too easy for Ball. Once he gets the right position, his focus there is on the finish.
Minnesota's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. And the Timberwolves call time. Jackson Hayes is checked in for Houston. Tyler Hero comes in for Ellis. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Here's Sharp. He's got 6, and Stewart gets it to go.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Feeds it to Ware. Goes up with a strike. Again, the Rockets score.
And big men who can shoot really changes the dynamic of your offense.
It's almost gotten to the point where you have to be able to hit that face-up jumper nowadays. Very few exceptions to that rule.
Now, here's Stewart. He averages a bit over 6 points a game. Chalk up 2 there. Sharp's got 4 this quarter.
Yeah, coach's pet peeve there. No box out.
And to me, this is a common theme that's running through the league right now. Guys looking to leak out rather than box out.
Rare to see a player going all out when the game's this tight.
You know, G.A., he knows what his job is. Control the offensive glass.
And that's so demoralizing to your opponent. To play great defense and have the possession end that way, that's tough to take.
Here's Sharp. The Rockets making the shot. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
You can't just stop when there's a pick set up. Gotta fight over it as a defender.
You know exactly what that takes. It takes energy, it takes activity, it takes intensity.
And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
Yeah, you love how LaMelo uses the contact to get to the line. This guy's IQ on the offensive end is something else.
Ball hits them both.
You want to contest this guy's shot, but you absolutely don't want to send him to the line. He will make you pay.
Stolen by Ball. Inside. Trying to find Hero. He gets it to him. Ware kicks to Ball. For 3. That one's off. He's made 5 and missed 3 now. Here's Mobo. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. Ray goes for tag. He's checked in for the Rockets. G comes in for McDaniels.
Number 33.
We've got 1:08 left in the first half of basketball. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. The Timberwolves made 2 of their previous 3 free throws in today's game. No good on the second free throw. Houston's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Hero passes to Ostertag. Kicks it out to Hero. Dishes the ball. And the pass to Ostertag. Stewart with the steal.
And that's foul number 2. And maybe you don't sit him at this point, but you really have to be careful to not pick up another.
The Timberwolves made 3 of their first 5 foul shots tonight. Houston making some changes. Miller's checked in for Jackson Hayes. Stojakovic comes in for Tyler Hero. And Goodwin subbed in for Ball. Ostertag pass to G. Now Stojakovic. The Rockets with another miss.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Back to Sharp. Looking for Stewart, he gets it there. And the dunk by Stewart.
Oh, he just punches that one down with a fury.
Rubs it in a little deeper with the hanging finish. Ostertag pass to Goodwin. Can't get it to fall. 1 second left. Doesn't go that time. And so it's Shaedon Sharp making highlights for Minnesota. For moments during that quarter, it felt like a one-man wrecking crew. It seemed he was doing everything out there. Back right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back to 2K Sports. Bernie Johnson alongside Shaquille O'Neal and the Jet, Kenny Smith. Let's get to it. It was a closely contested first quarter for Minnesota. They did lead by as many as 7 points in the first period. Looking at Minnesota, Kenny, give us your take.
We have to recognize their bench play. Sometimes we overlook the second unit. But tonight, they've been the key. The coaching staff has got to be loving this. Getting that extra boost is huge.
Shaq, let's get your input on the Rockets.
They did some good things, but not enough. They need to start being more assertive. Go harder to the rim. Generate some free throw opportunities at the very least. Do something.
And that'll about do it as we get ready for the second half. Let's take it out to Kevin Harlan.
Shout out to my man Joel.
Joel, what up?
And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. Man, we're seeing a tremendous game from LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, and just look at the numbers from the first half. He has been very efficient.
I think they've taken their time. They've showed incredible patience. It's a sign of a well-coached ball club.
And on the floor for Chris Finch as we get into the second half. We've got Desmond Bane. John Morant, he's out there with Sharp. Then it's Johnson, and it's Bassey in at the 5 down low. So it's the Timberwolves now after the Rockets pick up 3.
And he saw the play develop, but the pass just wasn't there.
It was a really good thought for sure, but the lob has got to be better than that.
Now, here's Sharp. Good for another bucket. He's made half a dozen now, 6 for 8 on the night.
Terrific play call to give him a clean look at the rim. That's how you want to start the second half.
Well, there is nothing better than catching a rhythm as early as possible, and boy, that's a terrific start right there.
Bane against McDaniels. Hero kicks the ball. Shot clock at 5. That 3 off the mark.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
And it's good for 2.
Yeah, that's the 3rd bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Here's Hero. Following the basket by John Morant. Puts up a deep 3. Another miss by Houston. Timberwolves leading by 7. On the wing, Johnson. Back to Morant. And there's the drive. And Morant throws it down.
Watching Morant drive is like watching lightning move across the sky. If you blink, you might miss it.
And Houston calls their first time out of the game.
Things not going their way, and he wants to just try to talk this one over.
Well, night in and night out, sometimes it's a battle of runs. Who has the most?
Ellis is checked in for Houston. Rockets trail by 9. Two minutes gone in this third quarter now. Hero passes to Ware. Off target with the open look.
Boy, as slow a start as you could have. Just 1 for 4 from the field. They're struggling.
Here's Sharp. Chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. McDaniels with the ball. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game. From deep, Ellis cans it from downtown. Ellis has got his first 3 points of the game.
And at 7'2", Bol has incredible vision, including noticing when his teammates are open.
McDaniels against Bane, and he uses the glass on the layup.
The assist goes to Charles Bassey.
And here's Hero. He'll bring it up for the Rockets. 8-point game. And every year, and Greg, we agree, Bane seems to get better and better as a playmaker.
Doesn't overdo anything with his passing. Looks more and more comfortable creating off the driving kick. He's become a large part of this offensive game.
Just in a perfect position to grab that rebound and then get the putback.
Timberwolves leading by 6. It's off his foot. And they're saying he kicked the ball. Hachimura, he's checked in for the Timberwolves.
In for the Timberwolves, Rui Hachimura.
Morant against Ellis. Morant outside. Going inside. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession.
Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves making a switch here.
In for the Timberwolves.
Tipped away. And it goes out of bounds. One off Bol.
Timberwolves ball.
And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession.
And he made the right read on that play, but just couldn't secure the steal.
Yeah, the anticipation was there. The hustle was there. Very close to picking that one.
Now here is Hachimura. Right now he's averaging 11 points a game. Here's Mobo. And McDaniels with the block.
McDaniels with the defensive presence twice on the pipes.
It's stolen by Hachimura. Stolen by Hero. And it's slammed in by Ellis.
Gotta take care of the ball. They'll punish you if you're that careless.
That's right, and that's severe punishment right there.
Boy, in a tight game like this, that can change the whole tone. It helps your opponent get into a little bit of a rhythm.
And so it's Minnesota with it. The Rockets making the shot. Here's McDaniels. Out to the right wing. Here's Ware, and taken away by Johnson. Bane inside the three-point line. Not wasting any time and taking the shot and knocking it down.
Johnson.
And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
And they've shown great focus on the defensive end, putting constant pressure on the ball and really disruptive in terms of what they've done defensively.
They've also been scoring on the break. With how difficult it is to get buckets in the half court, anytime you can push the ball in transition for easy ones, that's big time.
Both teams will make substitutions. Here's G, and it's Desmond Bane with the foul.
Desmond Bane.
That is his first foul of the game.
Personal foul. First team foul.
Here's G. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Hayes, no good. Timberwolves leading by 6. Here's Mobo. Oh, wow. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying to get back into a game like this.
Ouch, Greg, that is definitely an emphasis jam. A big apostrophe or exclamation point, maybe even a question mark. Now here is Hachimura. Good on the triple. And now it's an 11-point Timberwolves lead.
Well, what a crafty move from Rui Hachimura, squeezing past the defense, able to get his shot off.
There's 1:38 left to play here in the third. The Rockets with another miss. Minnesota's gone to the three-pointer 11 times tonight, nailed 5 of them. Sensabaugh, the teardrop falls in. Sensabaugh's got the lead up to 13 now for Minnesota. Now Goodwin. Nothing on the board. And Hayes throws it down.
And hard to decide which is better, the pass. Slam.
Oh, there's no wrong answer. Sensational alley-oop.
Goodwin. First personal foul. First team foul.
We've got 1:08 left to play in the third. Here's Mobo. It's rebounded by Houston. Bulls got his 5th rebound in this one. Now here's Goodwin. Guarded by Bane. Bull, that's good.
And the big fella knows how to score the basketball. Bull's understanding of when to look for his next level.
Now here's Bane. T right on him. Pass to Sensabaugh. Just 5 on the clock. Bane inside the three-point line. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Bulls got 6 rebounds here tonight. G passes to Hayes. Bane with the steal.
And this will be the last possession of the quarter if they're patient.
Well, it's amazing. If you finish quarters the right way, it can have such a great impact on the outcome of a game. Well, that possession to me highlights the importance of creating for your teammates.
And here is Goodwin. All sorts of time. And the last shot before the buzzer is off. And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. They've kept the tempo quick and the defense on its heels. And it's gotten them up big. Here now a chance to show you our assist of the game. And it's presented as always by State Farm.
And he sliced the D wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Well, that's what a great pass will do, right? You'll love the unselfish play.
And there have been 2 very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. All out there with Ellis. Then it's Peja Stojakovic. Then there's Ostertag. And it's Ware in at the 4-man position. That's the 5 for Houston right now.
Not his best game, but they're still getting it done collectively.
Ellis can't get it to go. And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They'll be playing host to Toronto for the next one. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. Morant passes to Bassett. Good, and the nice assist from Morant. Morant's got his 4th assist in this one.
Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high percentage looks from inside.
Passes it to Ball. Shoots over Morant. Ball, no good.
Well, certainly not the best defensive effort, but this guy can't make them pay for their laziness.
And again, Minnesota with the triple.
Well, that's his 2nd 3 of the game. 1 in the first half, 1 here.
Here's Ball. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
One thing that impresses you about LaMelo, the way he reads defenses and makes the game easier for everyone around him.
Ball hits them both. Minnesota leading by 15. Morant passes to Johnson.
Rockets foul. First personal foul. First team foul.
About a minute and a half through the fourth quarter now. Here's Morant. And the layup's good off the glass. Morant's got 9 points here in the second half.
I'll tell you, it's one thing to do this at home, another to do it in a hostile environment.
Boy, just sheer dominance, the ability to step into enemy territory and flat out take over. This is impressive.
The putback, it's good on the putback. And the Timberwolves lead by 19.
And those second chance points really become almost like bonus points when you can get them.
He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. He's on his way to the free throw line.
Oh, LaMelo's so fun, so creative with the ball in his hands.
Hayes, he's checked in for Ostertag. That's good from Ball. Minnesota leading by 16. Now here's Morant. Pass to Hachimura. Here's Bassett, and he stuffs it. What a pass to set him up.
Well, what he lacks in size for a typical center, he makes up for with all that athleticism. Boy, can he elevate.
Here's Ball. Kicks it to Ware. Hayes trying to break free. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Second personal foul.
And he makes the first.
This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the second.
Houston making a switch here. Heroes checked in. The Timberwolves have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. Now the pass to Hachimura. Good, and a nice assist from Morant. Morant's got assist number 5 here tonight.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with the basket coming off a pretty pass.
Timeout called the Rockets.
And no doubt coach wants them to shore up their interior defense.
I think right now they're giving up way too many easy looks. That is a recipe for disaster.
Once again.
The drive-by Ball. Gets that one through the hole, make him now 7 of 13 in this game.
What a nice-looking drive with LaMelo. Such a hard contest because guy can handle and he's got size.
Johnson against Hero. Here's Morant. Banked in off the glass. Morant's got 11 in the second half.
And with the lead, I like the strategy here. Continue to get the ball to guys who can do something with it.
One thing we've learned in the NBA, the game is never over. So you've got to continue to score, continue to build your lead.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
The skill set of...
And it looks like, yep, it's a coach's challenge on the personal foul. It triggers a replay review by the official.
And I think when it comes to some of the more difficult calls to make, personal fouls can be tough. The action is so fast that it's really tough to catch everything in real time.
The wonders of technology. We've seen replay reviews so effectively, and involving the coaches by being able now to challenge like this is something a lot of people have been hoping for. And the announcement on the review is that the foul was called in error. So they have determined to overrule the original call.
And guys, this is what it's all about, getting the call right. And I think in this case, the video review showed that while it was a tough call to make on the floor, they got it right with the review.
Timberwolves leading by 19. Here's Morant. Not going to go that time.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
And Tyler Hero. And here we go. Coach's challenge happening right now. This one in regards to the personal foul, seeing if that was the right call.
And this is the time now where the officials can review in closer detail what constituted the original personal foul. Getting a different angle can sometimes make it a lot easier to determine.
Indeed, and the one thing with replay review is that when you see the slow motion replays, you really get a new appreciation for just the immense speed at which these players are moving at.
The shots.
And how fast the action really is, and how hard it can be sometimes, Greg, to make the right call. And so the word is in. They've decided that the call stands. It was made on the floor.
And, even if a coach still feels this wasn't the right call, you got to acknowledge the effort being put in to reviewing it. The double checking, and the game continues on.
Bull. He's checked in for Houston. Morant against Ball. And finished up by Morant.
This is how athletic Morant is. A point guard who possesses incredible athleticism.
Ball. And he drives in. And Ball slams it in.
Love seeing a point guard who can explode to the rim like that.
Oh, great attitude and even a better finish.
Boy, it's incredible how much explosive scoring ability can come from the lead guard position. That is a big-time play.
The shot by Sharp. Nobody around. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
Their ability, again, to stretch the floor, particularly in this second half.
And guys, boy, when you're hitting, it sure does work. It obviously opens up major options at the offensive end.
Here's Hero. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. We've seen the NBA feature several overseas games, Greg, the last couple years. Always growing the sport, aren't they?
And I know the fans love it. And nothing quite like seeing an NBA game in person and expanding that opportunity, always a plus.
Bane's checked in for Hachimura. Pass to Bassi. Sharp against Hero. 5 on the clock.
2 minutes remaining.
It's deflected.
2 minutes.
Here's Bull. He dishes it to Ware. Kicks it out to Hero. To the paint. Passes it to Ball. Stojakovic against Bane. Fires the 3. Peja Stojakovic, and that's good.
This is as pure a shooter as there is. You've got to stay connected or it's a problem.
Sharp with it. 1:27 left to play here in the fourth. Count it. Sharp's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for the Timberwolves.
One area that stands out that we've seen tonight from them, their aggressiveness in getting steals, something I know that you really value yourself.
I think it sparked their offense. It deflates the opposition. And when you have the type of effort we saw tonight, it's pretty hard to overcome that defensive pressure down the stretch.
And so they'll stretch their victory total to 19 on the season. Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Sims is checked in. Miller comes in for Bull. Ellis is checked in for Hero. And Goodwin subbed in for Ball. Minnesota leading by 19 points. 58 seconds left to play in the final quarter. That's tipped. On the wings to Stojakovic. And Bane pulls it down. And so it's Bane who brings up the ball for Minnesota. 22 is their biggest lead. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. And the Timberwolves making a change here. Sharp's checked in.
Sharp.
And so here is Houston, trailing by 19. Got that one up quick.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
You know, we see this all the time. You're basically, as a defender, hoping the man misses rather than putting in the work to get over screens.
They get it again. Out to Morant. Bangs home the trifecta.
Well, they knew it would be a hostile environment, and they rose to the challenge.
And sometimes when everyone's rooting against you, it seems to bring the unit closer together. It certainly did tonight.
I mean, I like the call. I thought the defense was just there a little late.
That free throw, no good.
Goodwood, take it. 2 shots.
He hits the second from the line. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Ellis against Morant.
Rockets foul. Ellis. Second personal foul. Second team foul.
And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they control the game and just completely took the crowd out of it. That's
much appreciated, David. And that'll do it, folks. For Doris Burke, David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching.